Now with us is Diane Abbott, the MP for Hackney, where rioting quickly spread during the original disturbances in 2011. And Ken Hines is a gang mediator, chairman of the Haringey Stop and Search Monitoring Group, a family friend of the Duggans. How worried are you tonight?
Well, I'm not worried. I don't think we're going to see disorder. But first of all, our sympathy has to go out to the Duggan family, who've lost a loved one, and we can't forget that. But we also have to remember one of the reasons why those riots, the Duggan shooting was like a blue touch paper, was because of the underlying tensions between the police and members of the community, and you have to address those issues.
Do you share the Assistant Commissioner's view that relations actually have got better?
From a very low base, they've got better.
I do not share. Even though they've done work around stop and search, as I said, where they might have reduced the number of stop and search they're doing, they're still targeting young black men aged between 50 and 40 for nothing more than what their colour are. And I got stopped today, coming to the Sky's News, Sky's studio, to give an interview about the Mark Duggan. I was held up for 45 minutes. I was stopped and searched, threatened to take my car away. You know, I was there with my nephew who got angry. And as a consequence, after the call for reinforcement, but as a consequence, they kind of then gave me back my key and allowed me to go on my way. 45 minutes it took.
Things may have got better, but from it's a low base, and there's still a huge amount of tension around issues like stop and search, deaths in custody, the way the police talk to people. Unless we address these issues, we cannot say we've really learnt the lesson of Mark Duggan's shooting.
And you also got to understand that, going back from Cynthia Jarrett, Joy Gardner, Roger Sylvester, and the latest one in Brixton, these are cases of black men and women dying by the hands of the police, and we unfortunate circumstances, but we still don't see justice coming. And now Mark is on a long line of this, and we must be straight here. People weren't rioted because of what happened to Mark. People was rioted because it was a systematic thing that there seemed to be happening. Here we go again, another one happening. What's going to happen here? And now people are going to be saying, "I told you so." But I'm here to call to people to stay calm. I'm telling people you may still have an angry head, and you're rightfully so. You may, and I feel that. But we still want
ordinary Londoners came to a conclusion today. That conclusion was that he was lawfully killed.
Well, I don't think that politicians should second-guess juries. So I'm not second-guessing the jury. What I am saying to you is the underlying issues remain, and the police have to continue to deal with them. There has been progress. My borough commander in Hackney has brought down a stop and search, but there's a long way to go, both for black kids and Muslim kids out on the street.
So what is the solution? I mean, how do you go about improving relations?
Well, you make the police behave.
Give him a word.
That's fine. No, my thing is that the borough commander, Victor Lasser, in Haringey, he's a very good policeman, and I believe that, you know, with people like him in charge, he will make a difference. But unfortunately, he's not going to reap the reward of his success, because of 40, 50 years of being the victims of round stop and search is going to take many more years for us to have gained any sort of confidence in any police, no matter how good they are. Even though, as good as Victor is, he's not going to reap the benefit until he's somewhere away, and then we're going to realise that a few years down the line...
Stop him being promoted.
There have been improvements, but in order to mend the relationship, people have to see the police behaving more fairly, because currently they don't believe the police behave fairly to all communities.
They need a charm offence. A charm offence means we've got to be out there meeting the community, in the community, not for us to come into your ivory tower at a time at yours choosing, at our own expense. We've got to turn things around and see our police in our community, not being afraid to walk the streets, and to engage and interact with local people.
You heard that chant today, "No justice, no peace." Is that a widespread feeling?
It is a widespread feeling, but let me tell you, let me clarify this. This doesn't mean we're going to turn to any sort of violence. We're going to leave no stone unturned. That's what it means. It means that we are not going to just sit back here and just accept something. We're going to see what, taking all the intelligence and see information and see what we can do from here legally. I do not foresee another 2011 tension happening here. People have now kind of moved on from that, even though this is still a backlash from those times. I still believe that we've got good intentioned people, good senior officers in Haringey, at least I can speak for Haringey, that could possibly make a difference.
And no justice, no peace is not a new chant. It's a charter of 20 years old and more, because these are not new issues and they still need to be resolved.
Do you want to give your response to those?
I'd like to make a couple of,
Please, quickly.
points. Firstly, the positive things about Victor Elisa, the local borough commander. He's a very good man. I mean, for example, he's inviting young people to set his diary for a day and he can go out and see the world from their perspective. There's a real commitment to working with communities, seeing things in a different way. That's the first point. The second one is confronting gun crime in London. 50 people have been shot dead in 3.5 years. Requires us to confront armed criminals. We do that, we try and put them in prison for long periods and we try and take the weapons off the streets. We're running 3,000 firearms operations a year. My officers, professional and careful, fire shots once or twice. Now, that sort of information needs to be more public so people can have confidence in what... Let me finish. Let me have confidence in what we do. And the last point about stop and search, we're doing 20%, 25% less stop and search than we were a couple of years ago. It's more targeted against criminals. It's more effective. We're arresting more people. People like Ken are involved in stop and search groups who come and vet the forms and the work that we're doing. And I think the incident that Ken was involved in earlier involved someone being prosecuted for no insurance on a motor vehicle. So I think it seems reasonable from what I know.
In the end, sir, you can only effectively fight gang crime, gun crime, knife crime with the consent of the community. That's why you have to learn the lessons from Mark Duggan.
I agree.
It's about community consent.
Okay, thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Is this like...